Beer. For many centuries it has been a central part of people's social life. Yet how exactly is beer made? How does it go from being raw materials, seen here, to this point in my hand? How popular is it? And how does it get distributed? Over the space of the next 10 minutes, we're going to find out. So now you know just what goes into a pint of beer. Yet how do those materials make that pint of beer? This is the White Star Brewery in St Denis, and we've come here to find out.
Right, this is the HLT, the hot liquor tank. This is the mash tun, which runs off straight through there, into the underbed, through here, and all the way up into here, into the copper. What happens to it in the copper? It just gets boiled up. Boiled up for how long? About an hour and a half. And then we put the hops in while it's boiling.
The ideal water for brewing bitter is from Burton-on-Trent, and obviously we use actual mains tap water in the initial process. We have to actually add certain salts and a little bit of acid to adjust the pH, and what we aim to do is to get our water as near to that as actually is obtained at Burton-on-Trent. It's the fact we have to extract the sugars out of the malted barley, which is what we're doing now. Basically, we have to have hot water, or liquor as it's known in the brewing industry, at a certain temperature. We steep the grain in there for approximately an hour and a half, and the end result is we get the sugars that we need, which the yeast can act on and ferment and produce the final product.
Got to have bags out there in that little room.
I've just brought those in, yeah. We're just getting breath back. We're mashing the grain in, steeping it at a temperature in the 60s for an hour and a half, and we'll get the extraction of the sugars that we require for the brew during that time. This particular brew, Capstan, which is our strong ale, which is 6%, we've actually got 4 different types of malt in varying proportions, which we, by the taste, which we fire at the end of the day.
We're just sparging it at the moment to get the goodness out of the grain, and then you come down here, running it off, pumping it into the copper, and then we'll be boiling it up in about, how long? About 4 hours now, I think. We have to do this for about 3-4 hours.
We take the gravity of the wort as it's drawn off, and we can keep a check on the process as we extract the malt. So what I'm basically doing now is just take the gravity check, and I can see it's got a gravity around about 1066, what I would expect at this stage.
Smash it in, but we don't want to let any grain get into this underback. So what we do, there's a filter here around this point, which stops any of it getting through, and then just run it straight off really.
Now is preparing the hops, which we add during the copper boiling stage of the process. They actually put the bitterness into the product. The particular variety we're using now is an English variety known as Fuggles, which are grown in Kent. I've weighed a number of them out now, and we'll do a calculation shortly to be able to ascertain the actual amounts going to the brew. Is that when they're born, Joe? That couple. Does it go? Well, there, it's bitterness. I've done a calculation based on, I've worked out how many litres we've got in there, which is about just over 1,000 litres. And I've taken a gravity check, and based on the final gravity that we aim to achieve, I've worked out the approximate yield that we get at the end of the day, and from that I can work out the amount of hops to go in the brew. And I'm just going to hose this foam down because I'm not careful it's going to overflow. And then I'll add the hops because it's just come up to the boil now. And then we'll put the hops in there, we'll boil it for an hour and a half. Outside of it. Outside.
Jet wash it off. Yeah, just with hose or something.
we pump cold water through it from the mains, and the hot work's coming from the copper, and the cold water takes the heat out of the work, and this is where we collect it there.
It heats up pretty hot though.
Yeah, if you feel that, it's probably about 70 or 80 degrees coming out now.
Well, even though it's cold, that's supposed to be the cold water.
It's taking the heat out of the work.
Yeah, it goes
Through the power play there.
Yeah.
That's right. So, and the advantage of that is that well with the size of brunets, we've got some pretty much hot water to start with. And we don't spend so much money heating the water up basically. Right, we now pitch the yeast. Right, we're now at the stage we've got to the end of the copper bowl. We've boiled the hops up for an hour and a half, which has extracted all the goodness out of the hops. The work is then at boiling point. We have to let it stand for half an hour, which we've done. We then have to cool it down very rapidly. It goes through a device called a power flow, and it's cooled down from the 90 degrees or so down to below 30 degrees into the fermenting vessel, which is over there where that pipe is. And we've pitched the yeast, which you saw a short while ago, and basically we just pump it out of the copper now and leave it, and keep a record of the fermentation over the days, and when it reaches the required stage we'll put some finings in which clear the ale, and we're then ready for racking into the casks.
Well, I think you said it all, Andy.
Nothing to add?
Nothing to add to that at all.
Okay.
That is the
So, now you've seen just how much love, care and attention goes into making the perfect pint. All that now remains is to go down to the pub and start drinking. Cheers. Okay, what's your name and what exactly do you do?
My name's Stephen Hoy. I'm the landlord from the South Western Arms, and I've been here 3 years on, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, February the 6th. I came here initially as a relief manager, but the actual locals actually got a petition up to actually keep me here. And ever since then, I've been here. They've tried to get rid of me, but I'm still here.
Kids Pub's won, or become runner-up in the National Pub of the Year channel competition. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely wonderful. It was a big achievement for the pub as well, because it was a dying pub. We've come in and we have sorted it out. It's like what Marcus was saying earlier on there. It's down to the staff I have. It's down to the supplies, and same again, just the way the pub's run in a whole.
Average customer of this pub?
We don't actually have an average customer. We get everything from students right the way up to your pinkrings grannies coming in. We get families in. You get solicitors, bikers, solicitors. It's all walks of life come in.
How much do you sell in the average week?
That'd be a secret. That'd be telling. On average, our barlage per year is in excess of 1,700 a year. It's a lot of beer. A lot of beer.
You obviously have a vast array of like real ales. Why is it something for your personal? What's your personal reason for so many sort of additional ales? Opposed to these new Champagne lagers.
No, don't want lagers. No. What it was when I first came in here, I saw a big array of pumps. It's just that, I mean, it's the sparkle of them as well. It used to be a hobby, sort of like going around beer festivals and just basically tasting what was out there. But when the opportunity came to actually run this place, I took the bull by the horn, and I produced one of the best pubs in the area. There are other good pubs in the area as well that sell excellent beers as well.
What do you think makes a good beer?
The brewery. For a start, it's every individual brewer has got his own little tweak, little bit of barley, a little bit of hops, extra hops. It's just flavour. You want a flavoursome beer, something that actually tastes tastes like something, not bland.
And what do you think makes a good drinking environment?
Oh, atmosphere. You've got to have the atmosphere. Atmosphere. Firstly, good staff that know what they're doing and know how. And thirdly, they know how to look after it. And same again, customer care. Absolutely wonderful. That's what you need.
And what's your favourite beer?
Oh, my favourite beer, it's got to be Dickers. Dickers IPA. It is a lovely, it's a good session beer. It's only 3.8%. And we sell about 111 a day, which is on average about 88 pints a day. On a weekend, we can actually sell anything up to 2 of them in each day, on a Friday and Saturday.
I've got a question for you, mate. This new law about, they're trying to bring a new 24-hour drinking thing. I don't know a lot about it, but would you then stay open sort of 24 hours on a Saturday?
We wouldn't get it. We wouldn't actually get it because we're actually residential. We might get an extra half an hour or an hour. But it's the same again. There's a lot of chimney pots about the place. If it was in town, yes, you would get a 24-hour license to apply for it. But not in the area that we're actually in. Obviously, with households with babies and families, they've got to get up for work in the morning, and it's the last thing you want is a pub shutting at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and disturbing your peace. So that's the decision will be taken. There's no way we can actually physically do it.
And if this law does come in, and there are pubs sort of nearby that have got 24 hours, do you think it would affect your trade at all?
No, not at all. No.
That's a nice pub. Anyway, I can't think of any more questions. Unless you want to add anything?
It's just like, as I like to say, is a big thanks to the bar staff and all the customers, especially to Marcus and his team, for what they've actually done for us over the past 3 years. I've got a wonderful bunch of staff. I mean, we've got Oz, Jay, Elaine, Lynn, and we've got the customers as well, which is a big help.
What more do you need?
What more do you need? But good bunch of guys, and I say, cheers guys for everything that you've done for us, and thank you. Cheers. Thanks guys.
Okay, who are you and what is your role?
Who am I? Well, Pat O'Neill's my name. I'm a long-standing member of the local branch of Camera, and I've been in all sorts of other roles as well, from one of the national directors, national executive member, downwards through technical committee, editor of various magazines and articles and things, and well, everything I've done it really. Beer festival organising, so on and so forth. Member for many, many years now.
How long have you been associated with Camera?
I joined Camera in 1973. What's that, 31 years now? Man and boy almost. Or man and man. It's been a lifetime really.
When was the campaign for Real Ale formed?
It actually started, it was the idea of 4 fellows from Manchester, and it started in 1971. They were 3 of them were journalists and one was a brewery worker. And they were on a holiday in Ireland, and they were bemoaning amongst themselves the dreadful state of beer in England. That it seemed to be getting worse by the day. And they produced a sort of idea for a light-hearted, sort of, a jokey thing really, just to complain about beer. And it mushroomed from there really. it was very fortunate, I think, that they were, three of them were journalists, because they got a lot of articles in the press. And I mean, myself, for example, I read about it on the back page of the Sunday Times early in 1973, like I said. Joined up straight away, wrote in. At that time there were only 1,000 or so members. Now there are nearly 70,000 members, so they've gone pretty well from strength to strength. And what started as a sort of joke really became a proper consumers organisation, and it's now a respected body, a body that's looked upon for advice and answers and things from all parts of the country, from government downwards. So, not done too badly.
What are the aims of the organisation?
Well, the first aim is, as I say, just because the beer in the country in the 60s and 70s appeared to be deteriorating, there was a lot of what you might call processed chemical sorts of beers being made, and the traditional old-fashioned beer was dying out. And it was just a sort of a protest movement, just to say, well, things are changing for the worst. Nobody really thought at that time, I think, much could be done about it. But it did work, and people caught on to the idea that something could be done, and breweries took the idea as well and started brewing beers back like it used to be and serving it like it used to be. But since more recent years, we've also become very interested in pubs of the land, because now the big problem is the pubs are deteriorating. And many are being closed, and many are being revamped as so-called theme pubs and one thing and another, destroying their old characters. And once you've destroyed a pub, you can never bring it back. It's gone forever. Unlike a beer, you can always make another beer or make new beer, but destroy a pub and that's it, finished. Many hundreds of years of history down the tubes and with a bulldozer's bucket, as it were. So now we're as interested in preserving pubs and their atmosphere as we are of decent beer.
That's pretty good.
Cheers. What would you regard as your favourite ale?
That's a question I'm often asked, but I don't really like to answer it in a specific sense. It depends on the time of the year, the time of day, and what you actually feel like. There's a sort of beer you prefer at that instant. I mean, this is lunchtime now when we're doing this interview, and I've got a lightish, light in the sense of strength. It's a 3.8% ordinary bitter, and I think that's a perfect thing for a lunchtime single pint. If it's in the evening, you might want something a bit stronger, you might want something a darker, because I quite like some of the dark porters and stouts, but it's all a thing that depends on your mood and your time of day and everything.
And what do you think makes a good beer?
Pure ingredients, proper engineering gone into the making of it, and proper syrups, well kept in the cellar, served properly, no extraneous additives, no topping up with gas to make it all fizzy and so forth. Simple really, there's nothing magic about it. Absolutely straightforward.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. I brought that along, so I don't need to.
Right. Ready when you are.
Yeah, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Well, I'm Chris Ingram. I run White Star Brewing with my brother Andy. We set up the business in August 2003, and our first beers went into production in October last year. Okay.
What is the main ale produced by the brewery?
We produce 5 ales. The main one is the Majestic. We also do UXB, which is 3.8%, Battle Axe, which is a 4.6%, Starlight, which is a 5%, and Captain Full Strength, which is a strong 6% beer.
There it is.
Which ale is the most popular ale?
Our most popular ale is probably the Majestic, which is a 4.2%, which is the middle of the road there. It's a traditional type ale.
How large is the distribution area for the brewery?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
How large is the distribution area for the brewery?
We've got quite a few pubs we serve in Southampton, but we stretch as far as Salisbury and Poole and down to Brighton in the east. So we've got quite a big area at the moment. It's about a 50-mile radius of Southampton.
What's your favourite ale of the brewery?
All of them. But I particularly like the UXB, which is a 3.8, a session beer, which you can drink at any time. But they're all very nice beers, in our opinion.
And what's your favourite ale of another brewery?
I like a lot of different ales. It's difficult to say which is the best one, or which is the favourite. It depends on the time of day and how you feel at the time. So there's some very nice ales on the market, and we try as many as we can.
What do you think makes a good ale?
The thing that makes a good ale really is traditional materials, good malts, hops, and a lot of care and attention in producing it.
Probably is.
I've got a question. What's your sort of opinion on these big breweries that, I mean, I hear stories of people like, is it San Miguel, the farm one, how it's brewed in 15 minutes or something?
Yeah, we like to take our time to brew our beer and make sure it's perfect when it goes out to the customer. Some of the big breweries do make good beer, but we think that the microbreweries like ourselves do some excellent beer.
Where do you obtain your raw materials from?
We buy them from wholesalers. They come in, the malts come in sacks of 25 kilogram size. They're all the best available on the market. The hops we buy from in a freeze pack situation from suppliers. The yeast we buy from the yeast bank. So they're all the top quality materials.
And what happens to the waste material?
The main waste material we get are the spent hops and the spent grains. The grains, the farmer picks them up for us and he feeds them to cattle. Cattle are apparently very keen to feed on them. The hops, we generally sell to a gardener or something like that, and they put them on the land and it's good fertiliser.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Did that go alright, did it?
That sounds alright.
It didn't sound very good to me, but...
That'll be fine.
Brewers wholesale and
my name is Marcus Stanley. I'm the local regional director for the campaign for Real Ale Limited. Campaign for Real Ale Limited, or CAMRA, has been one of the most successful consumer pressure groups ever within Great Britain. We campaign on all subjects to do with beer and pubs, basically. It's a not-for-profit organisation of 70,000 members. I'm the regional director. My region encompasses the Isle of Wight, the Channel Islands, Dorset, Hampshire and parts of Wiltshire. There's about 10,000 members who are actually in the branches that I sort of look after. It's a growing organisation, growing at about 7.5–8% per year. We do, as I say, all sorts of things. Most people, I suspect, know us best for the beer festivals that we run throughout the country. Locally, we run half a dozen to a dozen beer festivals a year. That's within Dorset. There's the Pool Beer Festival. There are 2 beer festivals run by the local branch, which is the Southampton and the Eastleigh Beer Festivals. Beer festivals run at Dorchester and the reason I'm here today actually is because the pub that we're in has been very successful in our national competition for Pub of the Year. This competition is effectively open to all pubs that serve real ale within Great Britain. Initially there are 180 entrants that are put forward by each branch puts forward an entry. These are then split down finally into regional winners. There are 16 of these. Then the regional winners are further split down into the super regional winners, of which there are 4. And of those 4 there is 1 winner and 3 runners-up. Well, I'm here to actually present an award to this pub, which says that it is a runner-up in the national competition. Effectively, this means that this pub is one of the, as far as Camera is concerned, one of the 4 best pubs within Great Britain. The winner was actually a pub in Gravesend. The other runners-up were the original Marquis of Granby at Granby, the Taps at Lilland St Anne's, and this one, which as you can see is the Southwestern Arms at St Denis, Southampton. I'm very happy to be here to present this to Steve and his staff because it's immensely difficult to get one of these pieces of paper. Many publicans are in the trade all their lives, and the quality of their real ale and the quality of their pub means that they will never get one. Steve is remarkably lucky, but it is all down to his and his staff's good work and hard work.
Thank you very much.